Hello everyone, this is Big Benedict. We're 2 chapters away from clearing this game. We're on chapter 13 of total 14 chapters. And I'm going to do some shopping here. This is the only store in the chapter. So you have to buy whatever you can, but as you can see, I don't have any money. So if you've been thinking I've been grinding for money or that I have a lot of money, you're greatly deceived. Anyway, this first encounter here we have the marionette demons, and there is no checkpoint until you get to the save point. I thought there was, but I was thinking about Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2. So since I have 0 money, less than 200 essence, I'm going to not chain attacks, but do all of my UT kills here on these these marionettes, and then in the next room we'll have more marionettes, and then after that we'll have the zombies to slay, and after that centaurs. Oh no, excuse me, before the centaurs we'll have the flying demons, those gold Van Gelfs. So what I did not want to do here was use any magic until the centaurs, and I also did not want to use any talisman. I did not want to use my talisman of rebirth since it's too expensive, but by the time I cleared this stage I had over 100,000 in essence. So you can also kill these guys with the windmill shuriken as well, although they do like to block it. But when they're stuck into the ground like curled up in like a steak kind of form, I don't think they do it. It's after they jump at you, then that usually will kill them with the windmill shuriken. But this works pretty well anyway. Or just 2 arrows will kill them. It's as simple as that sounds. But anyway, you open the door, and then there's going to be more of these guys. But fortunately, they don't surround you on both sides. If they do creep up on you, just fall back, and if you have to, chain attacks. I say that only because you wouldn't be getting your full amount of money if you did start chaining attacks. And I really like this chapter, and sorry about having to fast forward it, but it's just way too same old, It's pretty simple actually. So make sure you are fully prepared to deal with the entire stage before you even get out of that first area where the store is. Make sure you buy everything you need. And these enemies are worth 10.50 per kill, as are the bazooka zombies. And I'm not going to mess around with the gold Van Gelfs. It's really easy to get juggled by them, and I think I almost do, but I didn't. So if I did get juggled, that was probably a death take of mine. So up here you're going to get, it's going to trigger a cutscene, which I edited out, and this is going to be sped up as well. So take out the closest guys, take out their guns, and then after they're dead, it takes the essence so long to stagger that you can get off another arrow UT before the money comes into you. So see, I'm charging an attack, and then just after I release my charge, it comes into me. So it works out really perfectly. Here's just a big cluster of enemies. This is the safest way to deal with it, and particularly if you don't have any money, or if you have a little bit and you need some, this is a great way to deal with this section. And I just enjoy everything about this level. I enjoy this narrow corridor here. I don't like it in Sigma 2 though. It's not fun because it's just too easy and boring. There's the sacks don't hatch everybody in the end of it, which they should. But this is the most dangerous part, I believe, because if you're not using Nimpo, like I'm not, I'm just committed to not using it. Not now anyway, because I only have the 3 immediate uses of it that the game gives me for starting the level, and I only have one Devil Way mushroom, so I have to be very careful and just throw daggers quickly. The daggers seem to hit more often when you're just standing on the ground, but I almost got juggled right there. But when you're standing on the ground, you are very vulnerable, so just bear that in mind. We have a couple more of these guys. Fortunately, you really want them to be running at you, because that way you can easily just throw 2 daggers at them. And unfortunately, you won't. Hopefully, you won't get overrun by them. This guy, I think I'm going to do a charge on him. See, what kind of auto aim was that? At least it took him out right there, though. And then it's just a great level, except the boss is Alexei, and that grab happy guy. It's just so grab happy. It's not even funny. But as far as gauntlets go, this is pretty easy. I mean, as long as you're using UTs. So that's the last guy right there. And while you're running over to the next area, you're going to pass a course that has I believe it's a low healing item. It's a herb of spiritual life. So you can't go back and get that. So hopefully you don't have too many of those. And if you don't have any, make sure you apply it, and then make sure you use it before you pass that up. Here come the centaurs, and I believe, where are they spawning from? I'm trying to see it. Yeah, they spawn. Okay, I did this twice. The first time I perished over here, and then the second time this was my successful take. But it does look like they're spawning down that corridor. I mean, it happened to me twice in a row, so those are pretty good odds. Now, it's kind of debatable here whether you want to use the Scythe or the Lunar 360. I'm just really conditioned so far to be using the 360 of the Lunar attack. Or, excuse me, the Lunar's 360 UT attack. But personally, here's the crux of the dilemma with the UTs and the 360s. Like, if you're doing the regular UT charge and you don't connect with... See? Exactly right there. I'm glad that happened. Because if you don't connect with the enemy, then it just stops. But even though you don't connect with an enemy right away with the 360 charge, as long as at some point you connect with them, you can deal damage. Especially at the very end of the Lunar 360 UT's combo. It's an instant kill move if it hits them. So, anyway, now we're going to go to the save point. We're going to be manipulating these 3 boxes. Switch to the flails. I edited this out here, so it didn't take you too long. Okay, so the box to the left is a grains of spiritual life. The box to the right of the save point is it's all. I know what these are. I forgot now. The box to the immediate left of the save point is a grains. The box to the right is a dynamic chest that always has fish. But see the pattern they come out in? They're hard to charge off an attack. So what I do is I keep reloading until I get some nympho, save my progress, and then this chest is static. It'll either give you 1,000 in essence, or it'll give you these fish off of whom you could charge an attack. So I think that's the best way to deal with that situation. And you can even reload for that second chest with the fish to keep hitting them until maybe you get 2 nymphos. I only got 1, but I got a little impatient. So now we're going to be heading out here, fighting this confrontation, which is always one of my favorite confrontations in this chapter, and in either version. But we have the undead mages and undead ninja warriors, as well as a couple of the IS ninjas. There's not too many of them. There's more of the warriors than the dagger ninjas, the purple ones. So I did the gleaming blade UT on him, and I'm gonna guillotine throw. Oh, I missed the guillotine throw right there. We got a parry over here. There we go. There's the parry. I'm going to do some OTs to get these guys off the map. The most dangerous ones anyway. Here's the parry. I think I parried his gleaming blade right there. But I'm going to throw him to the side. Wind path off the head for iframes, even though I'm not getting stuck with daggers. But I am getting grabbed. So I sundered 2 enemies with 1 swipe. Now I'm going to take these guys out. Probably do a gleaming blade UT because I just love it. It's awesome. Okay, so now that battle's over. Oh, not quite yet. I'm gonna behead this guy right here. This is where the giant crystal skull is. If you haven't done that yet, all it is you interact with it and you get the giant crystal skull in your inventory. It's nothing special. Switch to the lunar here. Make sure you save it. And I would also implore you to, well, first of all, don't hit the sack to the right first, because then you won't have enough room to fight the Shadow Ninja Reiatsu, which will burst from that sack. I don't mind dealing with the Reiatsu after this sack that I just burst, because then there's a little bit more room to deal with them, and I'm fine with that. But realize that after you clear all these sacks in this room, go back and save it before you head down the slope. And always do the 360 lunar UT to burst the sack, and then you'll do additional damage to enemies. Especially that guy, you saw the combo hits I got on him, as well as if any of those don't contain the Reiatsus, you'll get the ninjas, and you can Azuna drop them, and that will give you your full amount of essence. But I would implore you, this is pretty dangerous to do without saving as well. So, and coming from a limited amount of provisions, see, I've got 62,000 right there. I'm building my essence slowly but surely. Okay, so I think I get grabbed a couple of times, and getting grabbed is just hard to not happen to you. It's just gonna happen, and just accept it, and then just get those guys off the map, and try to do standard kills on enemies to get blue and red essence. That's what I would recommend most heartily. I think this is another Reiatsu. Nope, just one guy. You notice that even though I Azuna dropped him, that's never going to give me anything other than yellow essence, because that counts as a UT kill, even though it finishes with that Azuna drop. Now, if you want to be very sly, you can get this item without fighting the Reiatsu. But I think at some point I kill one of these guys and I pull up the tally sheet to see how much money they give out. I think it is on this guy, so I'll probably bust out my calculator later when I'm watching this. Because he perished with the UT, and I wanted to finally see how much those guys give out. But maybe it wasn't on that guy. Sorry about that. I thought I did it at some point. I mean, you could go back after each sack. It's even that generous of an allowance, but that's kind of unnecessary. Got grabbed. I think it's different in Sigma 2 because it's definitely more suspenseful, because you don't know which sacks house those enemies. So you're going up to those sacks and hitting them and thinking to yourself, is this sack going to have enemies? And it is more suspenseful, to be sure. This here is another 2 count of the IS ninjas. So just really beware. I think I get grabbed again. No, I don't get grabbed, but just take him out with standard kills. What I mean by that is just don't do an OT. Okay, I think we are going to have to fight another Reiatsu. The sacks that most concern me are the ones that have the 3 IS ninjas, like that sack right there. Fuck, did you see that? God, it's so common to get grabbed. It's just, anyway, I'm going to try to UT this guy here. There we go. Try to get some blue essence. He yields blue essence. But here's another guy. I need to do a standard kill on him. Yes, those sacks with the 3 IS ninjas, those most concern me, because the sacks that have 2 IS ninjas, normally, does this one have it? No, it just had 1. Sometimes, I'm saying sometimes, you'll get a sack that has 2 IS ninjas. You can UT the first guy with the 360 UT, and then sometimes the splash damage will delimb the other IS ninja, and then you can quickly either OT him, just to quickly clear him, or you can kill him with the standard techniques. So inadvertently burst that sack right there, getting tagged with daggers. Anytime you're getting overwrought, just remember to drop those wind blades. Got a nice parry on him. So remember, before you come down here, save your progress, and then you're gonna have to do the rest, going to the save point without access to that previous save. Now this burst, you might want to be careful about that one, particularly because it only has one of those really easy enemies. So since I don't know what I'm hitting, I mean, I don't know. It is the same enemies that come out of each sack every single time, but I can't commit it to memory of every single sack. There's like 50 sacks, or I don't know how many there are, but had I known there was only one Grey Ninja in that sack, I would have just sliced it with the sword, took him out with a quick Azuna drop, and then done the 360 UT on that Reiatsu sack. Maybe here I pull up the money. Nope. Not sure how. I don't know how much they yield. I don't think they yield much, to be honest. So when you come down here, there is no sack behind you, but I'm gonna check anyway, just because I'm thorough. And let's see if this one bursts more. Yeah, this is a tough sack, so I think I'm gonna drop Nympho on coming down here. Yep. I probably wouldn't have dropped it had that Azuna drop connected, but since it didn't, it's better to be safe. And feel free to use as much Nympho here as you want. Not in your immediate inventory though. Any Nympho in your key gauge, just use it because you can get refilled. Provided you only have 3 flames in your key gauge like I. Because the chest before the boss fight, it'll give you 3 Nymphos, even though there's like 5 orbs coming out. So if you have 4 or 5 flames in your key gauge, you're only going to get 3, which is wrong in my opinion. So here's an easy sack right there, just one guy. Got our 480 for that kill. Gotta move on to the next one. And this is just a 2 count. Let's see if this delimbs. Nope, didn't delimb him, so I gotta either parry him or just do standard kills. There we go. Okay, I don't think this is... Nope, this is not the last Reiatsu. The last Reiatsu can be unspawned, by the way. So if you want to do that, all you have to do is go to the area where the birds are. I think I do it in Campaign 1. So he's OTable. That's definitely not going to give me... I bet that didn't give me more than 100 in essence right there. So I think we have 3 sacks left. One guy, one easy guy right there. Another 480. And that's how all this money is accumulating, because the next chapter is excruciating. You've got 5 boss fights to deal with. 2 of them are the notorious doubleheader with Elizabeth and Genshin. And I've currently done it. I did it. I was going to use the Blade of the Archfiend on Elizabeth, but the Lunar just works too well. It's just too wonderful of a weapon to use on her, so I used it. And I was trying to do that exact thing on my Advanced Tactics Guide for Sigma 2, but something's different about it. I don't know. But what ended up happening is at the end of the fight, I accidentally used my Spirit of the Devil, so I'm thinking about redoing the fights. So here's some arrows over here. Make sure you get those. And I think the next footage is going to be in fast forward speed, because this is really superfluous to shooting the birds. There are 2 waves of the birds actually, so once you kill them all, you're going to get some more, but you can just drop down without killing any of them. However, if you don't want to deal with the birds, the best idea is to spawn them, go to the save point, and come back, then they'll be gone. And then spawn the second wave, go back to the save point, they'll be gone. And then get your chest over here, and then keep manipulating that chest over in the distance that I'm going to get right now, because it'll give you 1,000 in essence, or it'll either give you the fish. There's a glitch right there. I thought I couldn't get out of that animation. But this is the chest you want to manipulate. Keep doing this until it gives you the 5,000 or 6,000 it will give you. And then, since I had a little bit of damage on my person, I could use one of my low heals and then restock it, because there's a course over here right before you jump down. So take advantage of that, and make sure, unlike me, you have the Inferno on. I had to restart this because my loadout wasn't correct. So make sure you have the Inferno on, and here he is. I believe I had this in fast forward. I mean, excuse me. I have this in real time, and then after this, I have it in slow motion because I am going to tell you the exact angles here to dodge this guy because I now know. And what I'm doing there is X, X, triple Y to do that combo. The fierce attacks leave you way too vulnerable, in my opinion. So, there we go. I'm gonna tell you the precise locations. I'm gonna actually hold the controller while I'm watching my own footage and tell you the directions that you need to dodge at the critical times when it's actually a bit slower after this, because this fight is hard because he's so grab happy. But the thing you have to realize is that the more you don't stay next to him, the more he's just going to spam his projectile, his whirlwind attacks, and things like that. So you really want to get into a punching match with him. That's like the bottom line. Flying Swallow, maybe you want to do it occasionally. It's not worth it, though, in my opinion. Nimpo canceling is important. Here he's in Berserk mode, and God help you when he gets into that mode because he's so quick. But the same principles hold true. You've got to dodge in the same manner. So here's the fight. To avoid that, you have to dodge at 2 o'clock when he gets there. And then after this, he always is in the air for a moment. So evade towards him once, drop the Nimpo, and if he's in the air hovering, you will hit him with the Nimpo, with the Inferno. That's why you have to have this Nimpo equipped. So I'm gonna analyze these moves here. So you see how he's getting stunned here. Evade backwards here. Going in for some more strikes. I'm gonna evade, combo, hits, XX, Y. I could tell what I'm doing right there. Nimpo canceled just because I got a little bit worried. The move that I always get hit by is the Whirlwind, which actually can transition into a grab. So, he does it very often. This turns into a grab too. It all turns into a grab. So right here, evade at 10 o'clock. It just depends. If he's more on the right side of the screen, then evade at 10. If he's more on the left, evade at 2. I don't know about the bottom hands of the clock at a diagonal. I don't think that works. But what you have to do is wait till the split second before it hits you and then dodge at those times that I mentioned. And this is all in relation to where you are as if you were on the face of a clock. So right here, dodge at 2. So that saved me from getting hit. And it's so crucial to know which way to dodge. It really is. Because it's going to mean you getting grabbed or not. Okay, so right there I needed to dodge it at 3 o'clock because that's just where I was placed. So here, dodge at 2, and I got better because I kept dying here so many times, and then I just said to myself, I have to get better at this guy. So here's his punch combo. It's going into his whirlwind attack, evade it. That would be 10 right there. So it's mostly 10 and 2 if you have the fixed camera on like you need to have it on. So it starts at fixed camera. Just don't press the right bumper or it'll switch to the free roaming camera. That is not helpful here. In the past, I've been disposed to use triple Y combos, but again, it leaves me too vulnerable. It doesn't work for me. If it works for you and you can, you want a Nimpo cancel, that's good. But I think that this way is more effective. So here, that I believe was dodging at the 3 o'clock position right there. But if you get grabbed, it is your fault. I'm not saying that it's the game's fault anymore. It's just that the game is grab happy, so you have to adjust to it. You have to dodge properly. And I think I did. Didn't I get grabbed one time? I got grabbed once. I might get grabbed more. I don't remember. But when he's in berserk mode, just remember that he's going to be a little bit more evasive, a lot faster, and his hits are going to hit harder. So here, I had accidentally pressed the right bumper right there, so I need to compensate for it and mess me up right there. But when he's standing still, just going for your slices, and this fight should be almost over. Just do not let your guard down whatsoever. Here he's going to fly up again. I'm going to evade, cast Nimpo to have iframes just so I could figure out what my next move is going to be. Sorry to have that there, but... And that was... See, I had some good evades right there. The first evade, that was at 3 o'clock. The second one, I don't recall what it was, but just keep slicing him. And I'm going to see you guys in the final chapter.